Well, our children's message is on what it means to be in charge. And may I have the next slide, please? You may see the zeal on this man's face as he trims that tree, as he deals with that bush. I would recommend that you not go to the Kennels household on Halloween night dressed as a tree or a bush. Can I have the next slide? There was a time when this decorative dog rose bush was quite overgrown. And the trustees asked Mr. Kennel, "Dick, do you think you could take a whack at that?" And Dick said, "Oh boy, can I?" Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. That tree did not look much like anything except firewood waiting to be made. In fact, next slide, please. His wife came up and said, "Pastor, do you think we should just pull it out?" That was a question. Is it going to survive? I don't know. Next slide, please. But a year later, it grew back, and it bloomed this past year. It has, a year ago, it was ready for a little trimming, and now it is bigger than it was in its first photo. It is a huge, huge, overgrown bush, and Dick, don't be surprised if someone comes to you and says, "Are you ready for another whack at it?" Next slide, please. But all of this I say because it reminds me, actually, of Noah's Ark. When you tell the story of Noah's Ark, especially to children, their natural response is, did God really wipe out the whole earth, the whole human race, except for 8 people? Did God really do that? Why would God do that? Does that seem right to you? And to a young heart, and to many mature hearts, it doesn't sound right. But I said, the bush reminds me of that story. The bush was a little out of control, and it needed to be trimmed. And the bush has an owner, and for our purposes, Mr. Kennel was the owner of that bush. He had sovereignty over what to do to that bush. We asked that the bush be restored to its purpose. Its purpose wasn't to occlude the front door and to cover up the stained glass window. It was out of control. That tree, that bush, needed to be restored to a good purpose. Now, if you were a leaf on that bush, you would die, like all leaves eventually die. But Mr. Kennel said, all of you are going to die this day. Mr. Kennel trimmed that bush. And every leaf, their lives ended that day, as opposed to the natural end of days of leaves. Well, God is sovereign over the earth. He's sovereign over everyone on this earth. And God said the purposes of this earth were not being fulfilled. And so while all humans have natural days, God said, your natural days aren't going to be realized. I'm going to give the earth a new start. I'm going to reset it. We're going back to the way things were. A new creation. He started that with 8 people. He said Noah was a righteous man, and Noah and his family were how he was going to recreate the earth. There's a lesson in that for us as well. We all know how things are turning out. You would say, you know what? The one thing we didn't need was just one more chance, because we had one more chance. And this is where we are today. So what we don't need is one more chance. What we need is Jesus. We need Jesus to save us. That's what it means to be sovereign over people. God has a purpose for creation. And God will guide his creation to satisfy his purposes and his will. And along the way, we may see some limbs getting trimmed here and there. You might ask, does that seem right? But the answer is, we're in the hands of God, so yes, it is. And that is our youth message today.